Okay, so let's go with that master data. Okay, so might be you are not completed your master data, right? Correct me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'll just go with master data. So how many master data we have in the MM? Okay, we have metal master record. Okay, then vendor master record, then purchasing info record, then source list, then condition records, then quota arrangement. Okay, so these are the major master data we have in the material management. Okay, so every module they have their own master data. So from our point of view, these are the main master data. So now in the S4 HANA, this is a change with to business partner. Okay, so we are calling like instead of vendor master data, we are calling like a business partner. Okay,
Okay.
so this is in the new version, like in the S4 HANA. Okay, other than that, there is no other changes and all. Okay, so there will be a concept of automatic sourcing. Okay, and those it will be there in the new and older version also. Okay, so these are the different master data. So what is the metal master record and what is the difference here? So metal master is like identify the item. Okay, if I'm planning to buy, if I'm planning to produce, if I'm planning to sell, or if I'm planning to trade. So there might be identification is required for each and every product. Okay, so this product will be creating metal master card. So why it is too important? Because so if I have the material, okay, if I don't know what is the product and what is the use of the product, or what is the description of the product, or how you are measuring that product, what category it is there, and what kind of the product it is, what type of the product it is. Okay, so what kind of the conditions it is required. Okay, and what is that it is allowing with batch or it is allowing to the fixed bin. So there are different basic information of the metal is required. So when I'm creating the PO, when I'm creating the PR, when I'm creating the goods ship, when I'm creating the production order, any of the document, okay, every time the user needs to be entered all this information manually, the description, unit of measure, material group, what type of material. So it is very difficult to remember them as well. So what we are doing in this case, we are creating the one master data to identify that material and giving the information of what information it is required to do your process. It might be bill of material, it might be planning, it might be production, it might be sales, it might be okay, uh, accounting, anything. So all this information will be there in the master data that is called metal master record. Okay, so that is for the material master card. The same way, if I just go with the vendor, okay, so when I'm just creating the PO or when I'm just creating that any contracts and outline agreement, if I don't know who is that vendor and the name and the description and the mail IDs and phone numbers, contact details, bank details, how you're paying that, if I don't know those information, then it is very difficult to every time when I'm creating the PO, the system is asking that, okay, to whom I need to send this information? Okay, who is the name? Who is the address? What is the phone number? What is mail ID? What is the fax number details? And how I can pay the amount to that vendor? So all this information every time it will be asked. So that is very difficult to write every time I need to be enter. Okay. So wherever there is a one-time data, that means it is standard data that won't be changed frequently every time. So those information you can enter the data into the master data. So that is called master data. Okay. So these when the master data have the information of the address details, when the master data having that information of the contact details, bank details, and okay, if any partner details and currency details and any terms and conditions it is there, salesperson and other details, whatever it is, okay, it is required to do the procurement or anything. So what information it is generally required? those are will never change, or it will not be changed frequently. Those information you can maintain in the master data. Okay, that will be there in the vendor master record. Then coming to purchasing info record. So I just understand vendor master record have the information of vendor and the material master record having the material information. Then what is the purchasing info record? What is the importance of the purchasing info record? Yes. See, I have the material. The same material I can buy from the n number of vendors. Okay, so when I'm just creating the PO, okay, now I don't know what is the price from this vendor. I don't know what is the freight cost. Okay, I don't know who is the transport vendor, and I don't know who is the uh, getting the orders, like who will be receiving the orders this PO. Okay, and what's the freight charges, labor charges, packing charges, unpacking charges, all this information I don't know. Okay, and moreover there is a terms and condition, payment terms, and incoterms and tax information. All this information I don't know when I'm just creating the PO. Okay, it's very again coming to the question mark. This vendor might be having different prices. This vendor have the different conditions. This vendor have the different payment terms, incoterms, because he is from that other state. Then there is some other information which is required, and what is the GST details. So all this information. Okay, so it is giving that in the purchasing info record for the vendor, for the material, the combination, these two combination at plant or at purchasing organization level, what information it is needed to do purchasing in future. Okay, that means tomorrow if I want to create a pivot, then today or maybe when I'm creating the pivot, I just know about that this vendor is the this price and this vendor have the this uh, payment terms. This vendor have the this incoterms. So all this information must be have. So that is maintaining in the purchasing info record. So purchasing info record having the information with the combination of material and vendor one to one under purchasing organization, and if it is required under plant as well. Okay. So that is a purchasing info record. Any questions on this purchasing info record? So multiple vendors have the multiple information. So again, each and every vendor for the material, you need to create a purchasing info record. Again, if it is a different scenarios like special stock process like subcontracting, pipeline, consignment, normal process. In that case, again, there is a different records you have to be created. Okay. Now, so any questions on the purchasing info record? Any questions on the purchasing info record?
No.
Okay. Now coming to source list. So what the meaning of the source list? So you can see the source list. Source means vendors. Okay. So list of the vendors for this material for this under this plan. Who are the my list of the suppliers? Okay. And if suppose I just planning to block this vendor, so I don't want to be continue this vendor for some reasons, maybe 3 months or 6 months they block. So I don't want to be continue with this vendor for the 6 months, next 6 months or next 3 months. Then you can also block in the source list. Okay, and you can maintain the list of the vendors for the material and that plan. Okay, so the possibilities are list of the material, list of the vendors for the material. Okay, and possibilities are blocking the vendor, and I can also fix the vendor if there is a contracts and special stock documents are there. So how the system knows that if I have the 10 vendors, then who is my best vendor, who is my regular vendor, to whom I need to write if I'm creating the automatic POs or automatic process, then the source list will be having the one option that is this is the regular vendor, fixed vendor. Okay, that means out of 10 vendors, I can put one vendor as a fixed vendor. So I'm always advising that to take from this vendor. He's my fixed vendor. So that information also you can use. Okay. And if you have the list of the contracts, that information also you can use. So that is the concept of source list. Any questions? Source list. So what kind of the activities we can do from the source list?
Vendors list we can
Vendors list I can maintain, and I can block the vendor. I can fix the vendor. Okay. I can put that the validity period from 1 from and 2. this vendor from and to he's a fixed vendor. From and to he's a block. And I can mention that the list of the contracts and list of the scheduling agreement details as well. Okay, clear?
Yeah.
Okay, that is by the source list.
Sir, in source list, vendors are maintained against on the material. For each material,
Material and plant.
okay. Material, vendor.
Plant.
Okay.
Under material, under plant. Because if I have the Hyderabad, maybe the list of the vendors are different. If I have Bangalore, the list of the vendors are different. If it is Delhi, maybe list of the vendors are different because local vendors will be different, right? Clear? So that's why the source will be maintained for each plant under the material, for each material under plant. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
10 condition records. So condition records again, it's like you already aware about that. So to get automatically the price, information in the PO, we are maintaining the condition records. It might be freight charges, it might be basic price of the material, or it may be service cost, anything, whatever it may be, tax or input. So we are using the condition records. That condition records have uh, the price information for the material, and the combination again you can take whatever it is like. So if you remember that we maintain some access sequence, so here also we can create some access sequence, and the access sequence have the such strategies like the combinations like material plant vendor combination, material plant purchase organization combination, or material plant vendor purchasing organization combination. Like we can different combination you can maintain the prices based on when there is a PO creation, when these are the matching. Okay, then system will pick automatically price. Okay, so no need to be enter anything manually. Clear? That is the concept of condition record. So pricing techniques we can maintain condition record. Then quota arrangement. Yeah.
T code for condition record, sir.
MEK1. MEK1. I'll tell you. I'm just giving the overview. Okay, I'll just go in depth again one by one. Okay. Okay, so this is for condition records, pricing condition records. Okay, again, output determination also we have the condition records, and the tax also we have the output condition records, and freight again sales also we have the condition records. So different is there. This is the for the pricing condition record. Pricing condition record. Okay, and time quota arrangement. What is the quota arrangement? Quotas. So when we have the multiple vendors and when we have the multiple scales, or it may be when we have the multiple list of the suppliers, so how you are arranging your quotas? Okay, if suppose I have the 10,000 quantity requirement is there, but my list of the suppliers, their maximum quantity like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 like. So then the quotas, how it will be dividing? If I need 10,000 quantity, the system will check that okay, the vendor have the capability to send the 10,000. No, then again the quotas what you are dividing, like first priority, second priority, or maybe 50% of quota to this vendor, 30% to quota to some other vendor, like. So there, based on that, you can create your own purchase orders with a different quotas. Clear? That is concept of quota arrangement. Clear?
Yeah.
So these are the master data we have in the metal management. Okay. So in entire point of view, if they're asking about what are the master data we have, we just need to be tell that metal master record, vendor master record, purchasing info record, source list, quota arrangement, condition record. These are all master data. Clear?
Okay.
Okay, so in-depthly again, each topic will be elaborating with the different parameters, and again that we will discuss tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, if you have the time, then we'll complete one process maybe. Are you fine to continue or we'll stop? What is that?
For me, no, it's just continuous fine, or else tomorrow also fine.
Venkat, is that fine for you to continue?
Yes, sir, to be no issue.
Okay. Then I will be going to Metal Master Record. Okay. So what is a metal master record? Again, I just said the same thing, which like a metal master record is the identity of the one material, having the what characteristics, what is the length, what is the gross weight, what is the different parameters, what it is required, what is the description of material, how you are measuring that, everything. So metal master data having the there's so many information, okay, and across all the areas it should be covered. Okay, so how it is controlling that? How the metal master is controlling? So generally, if I just take any material, so what is the first? I'm just looking into that material.
Which material type and all.
Yeah, that type of the material. Why? Because okay, based on the type of material only I can use. Because if it is raw material, I cannot sell to the customer. Okay, because raw materials are generally we are using for the consumption of the production and consumption for other purposes. Right? So the type of the material. So here the key factor is material type. So material type will controlling the metal master record. So how it is controlling? How it is controlling? The material type, how it is controlling. The first one is the number range. So what's a number range? So my client looking into that, okay, when I'm creating a material, when I'm just creating a material, it should be start with 11 series or 1 series for the all raw materials, and 2 series with all finished goods, and 3 series which is all semi-finished goods, 4 series which is all trading goods, or 6 series it is like perishables. So like okay, my client is asking that I just differentiate my material number by looking into the material number. I can say that this is the raw material, this is the finished good, this is the packing material, this is a semi-finished good, this is the spare parts. Like okay, so the material type will be defining that what number range it is required for this type of the materials with this material type. Okay, so when it is ROH, then it is a different number range. When it is a FART, you can define your different number ranges. Again, external number range or internal number range. Okay, so my client is saying that, okay, boss, I'm just having that my finished goods, my own finished goods, and I have the raw materials which I'm buying from outside. Okay, so when I just look into the material number, okay, I must be aware about that. Okay, this is the product of the uh, for this product finished good. Like okay, so suppose example, I have the FERT product finished goods. Okay, so what is the product? Let's say okay, I just telling that there will be a something chemical. Okay, chemical product is there. That product is like okay, uh, zinc. Suppose let's say zinc product, some chemical zinc product is there. So we have like zinc, we have like 1 gram of the bottle, and 2 grams of bottles, and 10 grams of bottles, like 100 grams of bottles, like 10,000 grams of bottles. Okay, like we have different grams of bottles are there. Now my client is telling that okay, boss, so if I just go with 1 series, I will just get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But it's very difficult by looking into number. This is the 10 grams, 20 grams, 30 grams like that. So it's very difficult, right, to understand that what product it is like. So what my client is asking that, okay, do one thing, give some external number range, which like my parameters like x1 gram, pick any. So this is one kind of the material number. So by looking into this way, I can understand that, okay, this is a zinc and 1 gram packet. Okay, if it is 1 gram box, then again I'll just go with zinc x 1 gram box. So by looking to middle code only, I can understand that okay, this is a 1 gram packet or 1 gram box. right? So majorly for finished goods and all, customers when they are selling, to easily understand, because they are selling to the different sales points. Okay, so it's very important to understand based on the product name. So they will be go with the external number range for the finished goods, and they can define like this one. If it is a okay, if it is like a H2O, which like H2O, okay, H2O 100 grams packet. What do you mean by H2O?
Water.
Water packet 100 grams. So they are defining like that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So like they can define their own style of the chemicals. They can define and they can use that. Okay. So it might be external numbering, internal numbering, depends of the client requirement. Okay. So that is also possible. When I'm using the FERT material type, I can go for the external numbering, and when I'm using the ROH material type, then I can go with the internal numbering. Clear?
Yeah.
That is the one control. Okay, first control is which number range, and second control is external or internal number range. Okay, then third was departments. Okay, we can say departments or views. Okay, so what is this department? Boss, so I have the one material, a finished goods. So I never buy this finished goods from outside. Are you agree? Finished goods I never buy from outside. Suppose example, if I'm just doing my own production, so I never buy this finished goods from outside because I have own production. So I will be producing myself. So these products I never buy from outside. So what I can restrict here, when there is a FERT material type is there, system should not allow to create any purchasing data because I don't need to buy from outside this type of materials. So purchasing department is not required. Purchasing view is not required. And if suppose I have the raw material, never this raw material is selling to the outside, then we don't need sales data. We don't need the sales data, and here we don't need the purchasing data. Right? Agree? So the material type will be controlling that which department needs to be allowed, which department needs to be allowed, which department is not required. Okay? So when you creating the material master record, material number, material master record for the material type, okay, the system will check that whether these views are required or not required. Then based on that, the system will display by selecting the view. If I just selected that, if I go to MM01, if I go to MM01, and I can see if I just creating the material number, okay, the system see that what it is required, what kind of the views it is required, then only those views it will be displayed. It won't be displayed for all. It won't be. See, if I'm just creating that, if I go to MM01, if I selected that FERT, okay, let's see whether it will be having that all the views. Okay, if I just see that all the views are there, okay, I'll be go something ERHA spare parts. Okay, then you can see here where is the sales data. There is no sales data here. Only it is showing that basic data, purchasing data, MRP, then general data, warehouse data, accounting data. Sales data it is not there. Right? Clear? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So what views it is required, that is also very important. So it will be controlling that which views it is required. Okay. So departments and views. Okay. There is a one control here. Based on a material type, we will be controlling. Okay. 10. Field selection control. Okay. So my client says, okay, example again, my client says there is a FERT product is there, which is like oil. We are selling to the customer. So for all kind of the products, when you are selling to the customer, you must be give the information of what is the gross weight, what is the net weight, what is the total weight, right? That means weight unit, gross weight and net weight, right? So if I go to oil 1 liter, okay, So they're telling that, okay, if suppose I'm just going with 1 kg, let's say, then they are saying that, okay, 1 kg is equal to 930, okay, 0.930 liters. Something it is telling that. That means the gross weight, maybe with pack, without pack, again, different charges, different costs. So the gross weight will be different, again, net weight will be different. So they are saying that, sir, the gross weight is 0.930 ml or maybe a liter, then with the net weight is, it will come like 0.980 liters. That means 50.50 liters is the top packing, whatever the weight. So the gross weight will be different, net weight is different. So in this case, when they're saying that, okay, I need the gross weight and net weight is the mandatory field in the metal master record. And when I'm using raw material, I don't need this information, gross weight and net weight. So when you creating the material master record, if you not enter the gross weight and net weight, then the system will not accept to create. But if I create the raw material, and if I skip that, the gross weight and net weight, because I don't have that information, because this is getting from outside, then we don't need, because it's optional entry. It is again optional entry. So the field selection control is nothing but like a which field is mandatory, which field is optional. So which field is mandatory and optional. And if you want to be hide, I don't want to display that product information, that also you can do. Okay. So hide or suppress you can do. So that means each and every material, it is not necessarily all the fields. Okay. Depends on the material number, depends on the material type, might be some information it is important, some information it is not important. Clear? So the field selection control will be one of the control in the material type. By material type will be controlling that. Clear? Any questions here? Is that any questions here?
So if you want to edit any material number, it is possible. If you save the number,
Say
you want to-
material, no, primary key is never change. So each and every data, even in the purchasing and GR and any master data, configuration data, there is a primary key will be there in the table level. There will be a primary key. So that means the primary key will be controlling the entire data. So based on these primary keys, you are capturing the information. So those will never change. Like PO number will never change, GR number will never change. Okay, PR number will never change. Master material number will not never change. Clear?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So
Maybe
primary, yeah.
internal number also. If you external number is okay, sir. Internal number, if you, what we given by mistake and wrongly type.
Then you can delete that material and you can create new material.
Okay, delete option is there.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, delete it there. You can delete it. If you don't want to use that material, put like some comment, or you can block that material. And I never use this material, like you can put like that. Okay. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then the next control is price control. So I hope you already know about this price control. Yes or V. What is the meaning of S? Standard price. What is the meaning of V? Moving average price. So again, question mark is like whether you want to be based on the material type, the system, whether it should be go with the standard price or whether it should be go with the moving average price or what it's like. Okay, so that also you can control based on material type, because the advice like when I'm buying from the external, when I'm buying the product from outside, from the multiple vendors, the prices will be different. Then I cannot go with the standard price, because the price fluctuation will be there, because I'm buying from the different vendors. But when I'm just doing my own in-house production, then I might be aware about this is the constant value. This is the constant price for the next 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever maybe. This is the constant price because it's my own production. All profits and margin, everything which is added. So it never changed like that. Maybe sometime it won't be changed. So this, it depends on the material type. It depends on the material type. Again, you are differentiating that whether you want to go with the price control S or price control V. Clear? Clear?
Yeah.
Then there is one more issue like external procurement. External procured material or in-house production material. How it is like? How you can differentiate this material based on material type? The material type level, you can just mention that procurement type. If it is raw material, always we are buying from outside. If it is a finished goods, always we are producing internally. If it is trading goods, then we are buying sometimes outside, we are producing inside sometimes, right? So we can control based on material types, whether it is external procured material or in-house production material. Clear? Any questions here? Any questions here?
No.
Okay. The next one is quantity and value update. Quantity and value update. Quantity structure update, value update, value structure update. What it is? Okay, if I have the material, non-valuable material it is there. Non-valuable material means these are the materials are very, it's less cost, very cheap cost. So I don't want to maintain any accounting data for this information because these are very cheap price. I don't want to maintain. So those are non-valuable materials. So, but I need to capture the stock. I want to be track the stocks. So then I can go with like quantity update is required, but value update is not required. Or suppose these are the consumables. Never I will be storing into my location. It will be directly going to the consumption, but it is valued materials. Then I can put like value update is required, but quantity update is not required. So it never will be receiving to my location. It will be always for the consumption, right? So at plant level, which plant level this material type, okay, whether you want to be update quantity update or value update, that is the one of the control. Okay. So again, one more update. You already aware account category reference, right? Did you remember that account category reference?
Yes, sir.
What is the purpose of this account category reference?
GL account will get you.
In the metal master record, what valuation class you want to be used? Based on the valuation class, you can map that which GL account it is required, right? So then again, based on the material type, again valuation classes are different. So chapter valuation classes are different. Again, account category reference is different and the valuation classes are different. That's why if I just using the raw material type, then it will be start with 30 series something. And if it is a finished good, then 79 series like. So valuation class also will be different. Okay. Clear? Any questions here? So these are the major one controls, material type controls. These are the major one. So in interview point of view, if they're asking about it, what controls like material type controls the metal master card, then you need to be tell that these points are not number range, which number range it is required, external number range, in-house production, department of views. Departments are views like which department, which views it is required, and field selection control, which field mandatory, optional, hide, and price control, and external procured in-house productions, quantity update, value update, and valuation class. Okay, clear?
Yeah.
So these are the controls you have to. Okay, so again, how it will works and how we'll be doing the configuration level, that we'll discuss tomorrow. Okay, clear?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll stop the class today. Okay, any questions? Let me know.